An officer shot an 18-year-old man outside an apartment complex in Ferguson, Missouri.
It is unclear at this hour what led to the shooting, but witnesses say the teenager was unarmed.
Angry confrontations between protesters and police in riot gear.
You wanted a stereotypical angry black man. You got him. Clocked him like Darren Wilson, you shot him, he's down. Knuckles to the sky and his face in the ground, whispering to the concrete. This revolution song you hear brewing through our streets. The tick-tock of my clock reversing 50 years backwards. Competing with the click-clack of the Glock up against my back. But you telling me it's got nothing to do with me being black? I don't even see color, it's not about race. Get the fuck out my face, this is for the other, the darker brother. The one bleeding color into these black and white photographs. Eyes burning from tear gas, with blood-stained fists ascending towards the sky. Make the song cry, sing a downright indignant gospel. Sing a revolution, retribution, resurrect after the execution of a God-forsaken history we've been conditioned not to mention. In spite of stipulations, not of reversals, but continuations and convictions. What a righteous contradiction. Cause this a jack move, my nigga. Come out that back room, my nigga. They got the guns out, my nigga. Better keep your head down, my nigga. But they pull that trigger, my nigga. You'll be the next one, my nigga. But let me stop dropping bars. God forbid I actually be a rapper. The reporters would say I was no angel, and I probably deserved it anyway. And who could blame them? Well, my halo is tarnished from years of injustice and discrimination. My feet sore, swollen and blistered from marching over the hot coals of this sadistically twisted democracy. My white clothes stained from waiting not in the water but in the blood of my slain ancestors. But I guess it's to be expected when we live in a land where your First Amendment rights are considered null and void if you're only considered 3/5 of a human. A land where I'm made to feel like a guest in a home built on my back and decorated by tapestry sewn together with fabrics dyed in pools of my own tears. Where I'm made to feel like a case studying an animal and then made a spectacle of for responding like one. Where I'm repeatedly robbed of my right to be a victim because my skin is black, my shoulders are broad, and you hear God tossing and turning in my diaphragm when I speak. Where I'm gawked at for my eloquence and articulation and nominated as a spokesperson for the national plight of black people because I'm a fly in the milk, preaching the sermons implanted in me from birth. Here, where my culture is constantly demonized, ripped off from the first generation and then packaged and sold off, labeled as urban and vintage. Hundreds of years later and they're still getting rich off of us. It is pure comedy. The fact that it's no longer fun acting black when it's time to actually be black. When the collection plate comes around and it's time to leave that white privilege in the pot, all of a sudden everyone's pockets are empty. It must be so uncomfortable. Finding more than one token black man to recruit for your respective circles to not seem racist. It must suck not being followed in stores because your melanin-free skin equates to racks in your pockets, and the audacity of your mother's hearts to keep beating when you haven't made it home yet and the phone rings is simply blasphemous. But you can keep the violins. I'm not airing a grievance here. This is not a request, this is a war cry. A chopped and screwed version of the battle hymns y'all tried to press the mute button on 50 years ago. This is the remix, and we don't give a fuck about being called militant. Because this became a war zone when y'all traded in the white sheets for badges and started burning down memorials because crosses standing ablaze in our front yards just weren't enough to get your point across anymore. So word to Miss Batu. I know there's confusion, but God's gonna see us through. Peace after revolution. Also, fuck Fox News.
Yelling, "We are peaceful, hands up, don't shoot." When it comes to St. Louis County Police Department continuing to advance their line, we have now pulled back a city block and a half